encourage you to dig out the Washington Post interview from 1984, in which he does that in poetic fashion. If you missed any of today's show, you can listen back on our free Global Player app or on the LBC app, where you can also stay up to date with all the latest news, videos and opinions. You can listen to a range of podcasts, including James O'Brien Daily, the best bits from my LBC show every day, and Full Disclosure, my I'm very proud of my long-form interview series. Download the official LBC app for free from your app store now. Coming up at 4 on LBC, it's Tom Swarbrick. But now it's time for Sheila Fogarty.
Thank you very much, James. At 3 today, loads of us have had a phone stolen, I'm sure. We'll certainly worry about it. LBC's Fraser Nelson, no. We'll get there in the end. Looks at your chances of getting it back. Apologies to Fraser, always get it wrong. They're slim, by the way. Nigel Farage has announced his would-be cabinet as one of their supporters. Charlie Mullins talks jobs and AI. The world is changing, but are you? But we start with an LBC exclusive on royal protection. We've been talking for ages about what Andrew Mountbatten Windsor did and knew, and what his close protection with him all times, day and night, would have inevitably known or not known. Are they being protected too? I'll be joined by Andy Hughes in just a second.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 1 o'clock. Local election staff are warning they face an uphill battle to be ready for voting in May following a government climb down. Plans to delay polling day in 30 council areas of England for a local government reorganisation have been abandoned after ministers received new legal advice. The Lib Dem MP for North Norfolk is Steph Aquarone.
Of all the government U-turns, this is surely the most farcical, but it's good news for the people in my constituency and across the country who are going to have their voices heard this May. It's totally scandalous that they even got to this stage. It's been a long-fought campaign. I think it is a victory.
Al Sharpton has described his friend and fellow civil rights activist Jesse Jackson as a consequential and transformative leader following his death, aged 84. The Baptist leader was known for his close association with Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1960s and twice running for the Democrats' presidential nomination. Robert Jenrick has been named as Reform UK's economic spokesman. He defected from the Conservatives after being sacked by Kemi Badenoch. Nigel Farage has previously criticised the Cabinet's level of private sector experience. Mr Jenrick, a former auction house boss, says that's not something he lacks.
I only worked in the private sector before coming into Parliament. I worked in the city as a lawyer, I worked in business, helping to run a great British business. And I served in government and around the cabinet table, including in the Treasury. I'm proud of what I've done. I believe I bring experience to this team.
The Lib Dems say Mr Jenrick voted for Liz Truss's economic disaster of a mini budget, and now he wants to do the same damage to the economy all over again. Richard Tice, Suella Braverman and Zia Youssef have been given the Deputy PM, Education and Home Office portfolios, respectively. The Metropolitan Police will be able to force officers and staff to declare whether they are or have been Freemasons. A legal challenge against the policy has been thrown out by a High Court judge who said it serves a legitimate aim and is proportionate. And police in London are now using their e-bikes and drones to chase after phone thieves. They say the number of mobiles being snatched has fallen by more than 12% since 2024. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, says he wants to reduce that further.
We know, unfortunately, there are far too many phones being stolen in London. Yes, it's great. We've managed to have 10,000 fewer phones stolen in 2025 versus 2024, but it's still too high.
In the city a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was trading up 34 points at 10,508. The pound buys $1.35 and €1.14. LBC weather, mostly dry with sunny spells, rain in the southwest of England and a high of 8 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Matt Hewitt.
With the Lidl Plus Bakery Spin, you can get a free bakery coupon every time you shop. Scan Lidl Plus at the checkout, spin, win, and enjoy a free bakery item. Lidl, more to value. One spin per customer per day, subject to availability. Ends 25th of Feb, 18 plus GB only. T's and C's apply. See lidl.co.uk/LPTV.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Sheila Fogarty.
Hello there, good afternoon to you. We've been talking a lot lately, haven't we, about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. But it isn't a story just about one man, it's also a story about a system. That system primarily, I guess, being the monarchy and the role that he had in it. But there are bigger systems around the monarchy and bigger systems around members of the royal family, notably the Metropolitan Police and close protection officers. Lots of you have said throughout this story and the telling of it, what about the police? What about the security guards around him? What about the Metropolitan Police officers who would have been around him all the time? What do they know? Surely they knew. Surely they should have spoken up. Well, we've got somewhere on that, a little way anyway. There's a great deal more to know. But Andy Hughes, LBC's crime correspondent and co-host of Global's podcast, The Crime Agents, has an exclusive story involving conversations he has had with a former Metropolitan police officer who knows a thing or two about the operations, about the culture. To be clear, he wasn't a close protection officer to Andrew himself.
He wasn't, no, but he worked in that unit. So how it works, Sheila, is every single member of the royal family, they will have their own protection team. These are highly trained specialist officers from the Metropolitan Police. And really, it was the release of the Epstein files earlier this month that compelled an officer to speak to me. He told me that the Royal Protection Unit, certain members became too close to the royal family, including Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and may have withheld crucial information, he said, about what they witnessed on Jeffrey Epstein's private island. We do know that the former prince visited Epstein's island on at least 2 occasions. On one of those occasions in the year 2000, it was there where Virginia Giuffre, the late Virginia Giuffre, alleged that she was forced to have sex with Andrew. Andrew has always denied this and has always denied any criminality. We're protecting the identity of this former protection officer who spoke to us, but this is what he said, and his voice is played by an actor.
He certainly thought that a line was crossed to the point that we were concerned that information was being withheld from the police. They seemed more loyal to the royal family than to the Met. That's wrong. The big question for me is what Andrew's protection team witnessed on Epstein Island. I'm not suggesting they witnessed any criminality from Andrew, but there was concern that certain members of the Royal Protection Team willfully turned a blind eye to what was happening on the island.
Just to be clear, are they always armed if they are close protection teams? Yeah.
Yes, they're all armed, and they're all specially trained in firearms, and quite often that's how they start, and then they make their way to royal protection. The thing that really stuck out for me is that this officer said that this unit and members of it, they seemed more loyal to the royal family than the Met, and this is where real concerns started. Also, they started noticing the behaviour of these officers who were protecting the royal family. For example, they started to wear signet rings, and they started to behave more like royal. The officer said to me, they were more royal than the royals. So this kind of gives you an indication into how this unit operates. And also, Sheila, one very notable thing is that this unit seemed to operate under a cloud of